Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with some Megabloks V-Build, and this is a collector series, so it's totally not meant for little kids. It's a grown-up toy for ages 10 plus, double digits, 62 pieces, and representing my favorite thing to ever come out of Megabloks, which is their Call of Duty minifigures. This one has actually, like, got a vehicle. This is actually the first time I'm building one of their Call of Duty vehicles. I don't super care that much about the vehicles, but I really like the little men, and I like Arctic dudes, so I figured, well, this Arctic vehicle will go with the little Arctic men that I want to pick up, and it comes with another Arctic man, so I'll have, you know, a bunch of little men. And, seemed like a good enough idea at the time. I know that by covering Megabloks on a channel that has also covered Lego, I'm opening a, well, to call it a can of worms would be to really understate the situation. I will say, one thing I'm not liking about these Megabloks are the sheer number of bags for what amounts to 62 pieces of toy. There are 3 separate bags for this vehicle, and I don't see why I needed 3 bags of bits for this. Maybe that just has to do with how Megabloks sorts their parts in the factory. You know, I'm not going to go judgy or anything, but it seemed a little silly to me. And this looks like it's the little Megabloks man with the brochure saying, yo, this dude's posable. The Megabloks minifigures are almost less about a construction system and more about just being really well done little action figures who are leading brand compatible. And I'd like to focus on this little guy first, if these are actually all his pieces, and I believe they are. Let's see what this little brochure is. I bought one of these things in a 5-pack before. They used his vest to clamp down on this thing. That's kind of funny. Let's see. Because I think this might just be the piece of paper going like, this is how these little guys go together and how badass they are. This is just the generic how to assemble the little guy directions. I think I remember how to do this. I've seen it said that some people find the assembly of these little dudes to be a little bit difficult because they are like very tight, clicky things. I didn't really find that to be the case right away, but you know, every time I look at them and I think about how tired I was the day I put mine together, it actually seems quite feasible that these could be rough to put together. Let's make sure I got all this stuff lined up correctly. And this thing, I think, has to slide down over here. Yep, that pops together. Where are the legs? The upside of this modular, poppable construction for the little dudes is... Oh, wow, that is rough. I forgot about that. Okay. You all were right, that is a little bit hard on the fingers. Is that you can take bits and pieces of all these different Call of Duty guys and mix and match them to create your own custom color schemes or whatever it is you want to do. You know, someone out there is like, I really want to have a guy with white Arctic pants but a black SEAL Team shirt. Well, let me tell you, this storyline has you covered. But I really like these little figures because they just feel like... They feel to me like really good G.I. Joe toys. And then you realize these aren't G.I. Joe toys. These are Call of Duty toys. And, you know, that just kind of speaks to the current state of G.I. Joe, in my opinion. I think these are fantastic little army men. Maybe that also speaks to just what Call of Duty is in regards to what G.I. Joe once was in our current young male culture. I think it kind of sucks to call it young male culture, but it seems to be the continuing industry terminology. Although if you checked out some of the Toy Fair coverage this year, you'd see that a lot of the smarter companies are doing a lot of convergence of their boy brands and girl brands, which I think is fantastic. It comes from a somewhat dark place of all this stuff isn't selling as well as it used to. And, like, an entire middle demographic is kind of gone, but I don't know. It also feels like they're making something good out of a sour situation. One of the things the instructions warns about is, like, yo, you gotta push these elbows in until the elbows do not look like there is anything but sleeve, and there's a gap there right now. So you gotta jam that in, and boom. Alright, this little guy's coming together. I think that's about it. Yeah, he's got to stick his head on here and then figure out what all he's going to be dressed up like. And, man, these are such good little figures. The SEAL Team set, like, friggin' comes with Snake Eyes and Sam Fisher, more or less. And that's super badass. I really like these little guys. I think. Can I get this on over his head? Am I trying to push too hard? I am. I've flown too close to the sun. Here we go. They're just so well done. Like, the problem is, for me anyway, is that at the end of the day, they are Call of Duty men, and that is it. And unfortunately, little Call of Duty men, you know, they're neat, but I've run out of interest pretty fast because I don't have a huge amount of interest in Call of Duty. And it's unfortunate because like the whole setup of these little guys is so amazing. I think I've got to slip this around his leg. Yes, I do. But yeah, the whole setup of these guys is basically modularity. Like there's all these little hard points that anything with a little slot in it can use, and like even the guns have slottable stuff. And I think I put that on upside down. Whoop! That almost ended poorly. There's the top side again. There's the top side. So you like jam all this stuff together, and then like the gun, like there's all these different ports all over the gun because the guns friggin' come apart, and it's, I don't know. I think it's amazing. When I saw the guns breaking down the first time I popped one of these open, I accidentally pulled the magazine out and was like, wait, and the magazine has a mounting point, so you can mount multiple magazines on this guy. And holy crap! And like the butt has a mounting. This doesn't have a mounting point. Never mind. Well, the butt comes off, and let me tell you, butts coming off is not something that you see very often. And there's a spot there to attach a scope. Like, damn it, man! Oh, the knife has a hard point. I forgot about that. You can just, I don't know. Let's jam this knife right on the front of his tunic, front of his tactical tunic. So if he falls down, it'll end really badly. These two backpacks, I think, like he can wear a backpack. Backpack has more hard points on it, but I think there's something on the vehicle for these. Anyway, that's me gushing about this little figure as I'm building it. Let's get to the more building block side of things. Let's assemble the Megabloks into the little vehicle that they become. This, oh man, can't this be a booklet? This is like a, look at this giant long strip of paper folded over and over like an accordion. That feels small time, and I am not a block snob. Oh well. Let's see. Oh, another thing that people get super block snob about is, yo, look at the big, like, specialized pieces for the snowmobile. Maybe these show up somewhere else, I don't know, but I know that a big thing I've seen Megabloks called out on many times by friends of mine who are into a higher-end sort of brick, who get quite uppity about the Megabloks, are that Megabloks tend to use a lot of specialized pieces as opposed to building within the limits of the brick. Megabloks are also sometimes a bit spongier. I've had the comment made several times in videos and elsewhere that it's only because I messed with old Halo sets that I find them gummy. I mean, I built a little thing that came with the SEAL Team guys, and I thought that was gummy too. But this feels a lot better than the other Megablock stuff I messed with, including that SEAL Team backdrop. That backdrop felt hella gummy. Maybe it's because it was a backdrop and nobody cared, but this has a bit more solidity to it. And there is a neat kind of glitter to some of these blocks as I'm putting them together. Like the brown stuff has kind of a glittery finish. And yeah, it's not feeling as spongy as I remember Megabloks feeling in past. That's it's making me feel a little bit better about this. Anyway, we got to build a tread. This thing's rubber. I hope this is built well, because if this is poor rubber, it's going to be a sad sight in a couple months once it's been exposed to the elements. Let's get this on here. Get this on here. Whoop! Get this on here. This is, I guess, Megabloks' take on the Technic system. Feels okay. It's all clicking together quite happily. I'm not trying to be like a Megabloks apologist or anything. I'm just saying it how it is. I gotta stretch this around here. Come on. Let's go. This is actually gonna work, because the teeth seem to be between the wheels. I don't know. We'll see. Oh no, it works. All right. You know, I can see. Oh, there's like smaller divots up here. I see. All right. Well, that's neat. That's a working tread. Let's continue making our way through these accordion instructions. I guess I want to stick this onto the thing I built already. A couple of spots here for MPEGing. That's feeling a little bit... Okay, clipped in. I'll give it that much. Good job, Megablock. And I gotta make a thing. There's a lot of sub-instructions in this build. Also, because these are Call of Duty, you've got these blocks that are... Well, these tiles, I guess, that are camouflage, pan-toned, and molded. They've got, like, color swirls in them. Shades of the Beast Hunters. Okay, I see. I'm just... Alright, I was talking about sub-builds. The sub-builds are literally 4 parts. There's the sub-builds. Maybe I was overselling that just a touch. And I guess these go together like this. That's the kind of neat thing about these instructions. They put color-coded dots on stuff to try to help you see where things are going to peg together. That's helpful. Makes me feel confident. And we got skis, represented by these big ski pieces. And we're going to put the one stud 1x2s in the center of these. That's right, I'm mixing my Lego terminology in with my Megabloks toy. Get mad. Get a T-bar. This is interesting. If this was made out of really poor quality materials, this build would be a disaster given all these tiny little bits and pieces. So I guess we'll see how it is at the end of the process. But so far it's feeling okay. Oh great. I gotta try to find another little L-shaped rod. And it's not immediately available to me, which makes me think that the worst has happened. And it's gone flying off somewhere. Let's take a look around. So we've got... Let's take stock. We've got our little man, we've got our half build, got this thing, got our skis, got our multi-rod build. Oh, there it is. Thank goodness. Now, I know that could have been a case made for why don't you sort parts, but need I remind you that, you know, I have testosterone, I've gone through puberty, I don't need to sort parts, like Aaron Smith would need to sort parts with his fancy pants Lego building ways. What I'm trying to say is, this is the hardcore extreme way to build bricks and blocks. And maybe it's slower, but maybe I'm a warrior. Okay. This is looking okay. Little assembly here. What do we got? These look weird. Where do these go? See, the other thing that Megabloks gets called out on sometimes, which I've looked around and on the occasions I've dibbled with them, I could say I do agree sometimes that their builds don't have a huge amount of stability. This is one of those times where, unless something, fastens all this together down here, that is quite an unstable build, because you've got lots of downwards pressure on stuff gripping things up here, and you're pushing down on it, and there's nothing pushing back up down here. That could go pretty bad. I guess we'll see what happens. Hey, look, I don't have to do any stickers. That is tampographed on. One up to the Megabloks. I know that you get tampos and other things, but I'm just trying to be unreasonable. And we got our little handlebar. Does that have room to turn? A tiny amount of room to turn. Oh man, I'm hitting the end of this page. I'm going to have to flip pages over. I don't want to have to do that. That's a bunch of busy work. And this is another one of those sub-builds on the page, so I gotta hold these two things together. And take this stuff. I do like the look of the swirly plastic to get across the camouflage look. Is it called digital camo? Is that what they call it in the industry? It's a neat effect. It's very topical for Call of Duty. Hey, Call of Duty, yeah. Nope, don't laugh, nope. I know one of you out there's chuckling. You're a bad person if you're chuckling, because you're enabling me, and you need to stop that right now. And I need to flip over to the other side of this, because it's like they ran out of room at the last minute. Oh, hey, you can just, once you get to the end of the piece of paper, you just flip over again. That's actually a pretty smart accordion job. In terms of accordion folded paper, that's some high-end accordion foldings. Good job, Megabloks. And yeah, they are implying that you want to stick both backpacks on here. I guess I'll follow the instructions for now and remove this poor gentleman's backpack and stick it over here so he can carry 2 backpacks on his vehicle. And there's not enough room for both of their stems. Got to do some crazy futs in here to get this all symmetrical. You know what? Who cares about symmetry? Let's get this little dude on board and ready to fight. Stick his gun over here on one of his backpacks. It will be attached by its magazine. That will not end poorly. And if we get his wrists all posed up, like, this little dude is super cool to pose, and these little guys are just super cool. Like, you don't need to buy lots of them. You really only need to get one, but you get one of these sets, and like, the cost of one of these sets, if you pay like an extra, like, I don't know, like $5-6 instead of this little dinky vehicle thing, it's not that bad, but it's kind of dinky. You swap this out and get like 4 more of these guys, and then like a little tiny backdrop and a gajillion accessories. I think those troop packs are where the money lie. You saw me build one of these little guys already. Let me know in the comments if you want me to V-build the Winter Arctic Guys troop pack. I do have that kicking around. I haven't built it yet because I save a lot of my brick building for either V-builds or just vegetating on the weekends and turning on some programming and putting some brick together. Those are usually the bigger sets because I don't want to videotape the bigger sets. I want to enjoy those builds. And yeah, here we go. Got this little guy riding his little Arctic motorcade. Woo! That's a cool little build. I don't know if it's really worth the 10 plus tax, 10, 11-ish plus tax bucks that this costs, but it's a fun little build. It turns out pretty solid. It's a neat little vehicle. It's definitely a cheaper endeavor than going for like a tank or helicopter, and given the options in this price range, I think this looks a bit cooler than that little missile drone thing. But you know, the missile drone thing does have its own little charm. I guess I might take a look at it because I have no self-control. So thanks for checking that out. Let me know what you think about other Call of Duty Megabloks and V-building. You want to see some of these troops just getting put together en masse, or are you just offended at the sight of Megabloks? I guess there are options in between there too, but what fun is life without extremes, right? Anyway, have a good evening, because no matter what time it is where you are, now it's the evening.